Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for July the 20th, 2020. Today we shall be discussing Brexit, but also the Russia Influence Report. Back when he was an MP, Dominic Grieve, ardent Ramona Remainer rejoiner, who lost his seat at last year's general election after being yeeted from the Conservative Party for being a massive tool, chaired the Intelligence and Security Committee. The current chair is Julian Lewis, who was recently kicked from the Tory party for being willing to work with the Labour Party. It goes deeper, I know. I am merely glossing over, as it is not overly important just yet. That committee drew up a report dubbed the Russia Influence Report. The report itself is alleged to contain a number of false allegations within it, which has the founder of Leave.EU, Aron attempting to prevent it from being released tomorrow. When I first heard about this report, my first thought was, even in not being here anymore, Dominic Grieve still has a way of trying to find a way to devalue what happened in 2016 because Russia. And as we all know, in all elections, Russia are to blame for everything. Does anyone remember last week with journalists following Corbyn around because of alleged Russian influence in the 2019 general election? Sorry, I mean Russia. How many more times do I have to curl that R? The motherland must be so proud of me. It is alleged that many prominent Leave supporters, so yes, this is officially now a Brexit video, are in fact Russian, there you go, I said it correctly, agents. Right. Can we all start pressing X to doubt? Can we do that? Because this comes across as remarkably salty. We, the United Kingdom, voted to leave in 2016. The ball got rolling 9 months later. We left on January 31st, 2020, after much dither and delay. Yes, I am parroting Boris's words, because let's face it, that's exactly what happened. I could change the words, but you'll only end up accusing me of saying the same thing differently. The lawyer for Aron has pointed out there is a current defamation case over previously published accusations. This was done via a letter sent to the chair, Julian Lewis, which says Mr. Banks has not received any invitation to give evidence and or to respond to any allegations which may be advanced against him in the Russia report. Please provide us with immediate notification of any statements made within the Russia report which refer to Mr. Banks. Given the subject matter of the Russia report and the matters which are currently live in litigation in the courts, it would obviously be necessary, fair and just for him to have advance notice if any statements were to be made about him, and that he is given a proper opportunity to deal with them prior to publication, not least when it is understood journalists have been given an opportunity to cooperate. Concerning the legal matters, there is a point to this, but the fact it's happening so close to its publication tomorrow does lead me to believe it won't be stopped. Although it is equally likely it won't be stopped because no one cares about Aron Banks now. They cared when Brexit was happening. Moving on from that, there are a number of Leave voting MPs that believe that the publication of this report could harm and or sabotage Brexit. One of the more notable MPs would be Conservative MP Andrew Bridgen, who has said that he hopes that the ISC report will not be used as yet another attempt trying to discredit the referendum vote for Brexit or to smear Aron Banks again. Too often we have seen that Remainers cannot accept defeat and have repeatedly used any means possible to attempt to undermine and discredit the result. Yet whenever the British people have been asked to vote in a referendum or election in the last 4 years, they have consistently and increasingly overwhelmingly backed the Leave side. There have been to date 2 parliamentary inquiries that looked into if the Electoral Commission was fit for purpose after allegations of Russia influence, along with the witch hunt against Brexiteers that followed. So we do know there are salty people in every single facet of political society. Granted, they're not as many as people would think, but they are still there and they are still very proudly making things remarkably difficult, even though we have left. I would love to see them say this is proof that we now need to take this to the Supreme Court for Lady Hale to then do exactly what I think she'd do and find a way to reverse the decision and the vote of the people because the politicians lied, so 17.4 million people that voted for it were misled and therefore didn't know what they were voting for, and therefore they don't count. Right. That's not going to happen, by the way. I just find this all quite interesting. Writing for the Sunday Express, Aron Banks specifically has linked the Electoral Commission's inquiry into false allegations to the ISC report, saying that the background to the report is clear. Russian interference in Brexit has become a mythical mantra for hardcore Remainers as they sought to try to discredit the result in any way they could. We are living in an age where political opponents are not prepared to accept defeat at the ballot box and use other methods. The report is the last in a series of attacks intended to undermine not only Brexit but the Conservative government. Now, I don't care if it undermines the government because they should always be put on the spot in the first place. I do care about Brexit though, because the sooner we're officially gone, i.e. transition period over, the better. And I am looking forward to this report being published so I can read it, possibly for a Wednesday video. As a final thing, I love that nearly 4 years later, and close to 6 months after officially leaving, some are still trying to find a way to reverse the will of the people, under the guise of, insert all excuses here, newest one being Mother Russia. Right. Previous ones included, the people were stupid, yep, people were lied to, right, and let's not forget all those young people that are now eligible to vote, meaning those who are no longer here and, of course, those who voted then. We should just keep doing this until enough young people rise up and vote to remain. Okay. With what we have discussed here today, I'd love to know what you think. Are you as excited as I am for this report? Do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I'd like to apologise. Last week I hurt my hand and was unable to edit videos as I normally do. I am, however, fully recovered, so I should be able to persist, continue, and upload on a regular schedule to this channel as well as my main channel. Thank you very much for your patience, and I will try not to make such a silly decision again.